It is Wednesday, August the 5th, and it is time to recap what was a active, crazy, and I guess you could say somewhat predictable trade deadline. So kick back, relax, because another edition of Hitting Home starts right now. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Hitting Home, the official baseball show of 609 Sports Talk Radio. Coming to you guys live tonight, here to recap what was a hectic week of baseball trades and moves done with the deadline passing on Monday. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Dustin Reese. Yes, we can see him again. He's back on the camera. He's back and he's better than ever.
Hey, we're on vacation next week. I gotta come on the camera before we go on vacation next week.
Also true. We are on break next week, you and I. So we got a big show tonight. First of all, Dustin, congratulations on the state champs.
Thank you.
Want to give you that live shout out. Happy for you guys. So we got a lot to talk about. Of course, Dustin and I are under a little bit of pressure at the end of the show. Tyler and I beat the grid this week. We swept it clean. So a little pressure on us this week. We got to make sure, since we're off next week, we got to take down the damn grid. It's a little challenging this week. So we'll get to that at the end of the show. We will give our studs or duds for the month of July. I got one that's pretty actually hilarious. I have a team that's my dud. It has nothing to do with my team for once. So we'll get into that. But top story of the day. The Major League Baseball trade deadline. It's come and gone, and it was an active, busy, entertaining weekend of trades, especially on Monday morning. Monday was an absolute SHIT show, I'll call it. We'll keep it PG for the kids. But Dustin, let's talk with the obvious. Saturday night, the second worst kept secret in sports happened outside of A.J. Brown going to the Patriots after June the 1st. That was the first worst kept secret of 2026. Tarek School was a damn Dodger.
The thing that bothers me with that the most is the Brewers had, as much as I would have hated the Brewers to get him, the Brewers had by far a better package than the Dodgers had. That just is living proof that nobody but the Dodgers had a chance to get him.
Yeah. And it goes back to, and honestly, there was the rumored Phillies offer that consisted of Gage Wood. They said that was part of their package, along with Justin Crawford and Jonathan Bolin. I think Gage Wood's a very, very good pitching prospect for the Phillies. Honestly, he's probably the Phillies' only pitching prospect, so I'm actually kind of happy we didn't have to give him up. But it all came back to just a few weeks ago, him saying that when he does hit free agency, the Dodgers will be one of his top destinations. And from that moment on, it kind of was like, well, got a feeling we're not going to be waiting until free agency, if we have one, for you to be going to the Dodgers. And ever since then, that's when all leverage for other teams was lost. And that's how we all knew at the end of the day, Tarek School was going to be a damn Dodger.
And as a Detroit Tiger fan, though, are you mad that they sent him to the Dodgers? Because you look at what the Brewers are willing to give up to get him. Logan Henderson was that key piece of that deal. And Logan Henderson is 6-1 right now with a 2.65 ERA with the Brewers, and he's a 24-year-old starter. Why would you even second guess or entertain another package when you look at what the Dodgers are sending you? Because the three prospects that they're sending you are nowhere near the level of what the Brewers are giving you. So I just don't understand. I just don't understand what the Tigers are even thinking.
I don't understand why the Tigers, who are one of the teams that continue to bitch and complain about the current structure of baseball, kept adding to it. I have no idea why they would be the team that continue to add to the team that they say is ruining the game.
Yeah.
And again, but see, here's the one thing I will say. And like I said, I am on team I hate the Dodgers with everybody else. However, there are teams that are not willing to give up long-term assets for 3-month rentals, especially when you know you don't have a shot of extending that rental.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers are still one of the very few and only teams that will play that game. They can afford to play that game with the farm system they have and the money they have. They can play that game with anybody they want. The problem is now, everybody. The one thing I will say about this deadline, I am happy that every other team didn't come out and say that, okay, Scooble's a Dodger, let's punt. Let's not do this. Let's punt and let's not go and see what we can do. A lot of teams got active on Monday. They made their moves, and now all these teams, every team should have tried their best to get better over this weekend, because now it's almost like Avengers Assemble. Let's all try to improve to go find this team and kick their you know what.
And honestly, this might just be me kind of thinking more positive than you, but I think this is a precursor for what is to come this offseason, because the CBA expires December 2nd, December 3rd, whenever that is. But you
Something
still
around
have
there, yeah.
you still have 3 weeks of free agency before that CBA expires. Given what we just saw in the deadline and how aggressive teams were to get trades done to get players, I think the first 3 weeks of free agency, these teams are going to be unbelievably aggressive and unbelievably overpay for players, because they're going to know that if you sign one of these players in the first 3 weeks, no matter what happens after that, you have them. Nothing that the CBA can change will change who you sign 3 weeks prior to that CBA expiring.
Yeah, I think there's a very good shot that could be the case. I think there is a chance that we see a very early and active offseason, hopefully. But again, we have to wait and see what happens with that. But I'm still mad he's a damn Dodger. I don't care if it's only for 3 months.
We beat him yesterday, so I don't care.
Oh, I'm happy about that, because I can't stand these guys anymore. And for everybody coming on here and saying that, like, I have somebody on Facebook that compared the Dodgers to the Kobe and Shaq Laker dynasty, the the Tom Brady Patriot days, and the Yankees of the early 2000s. There is a difference between the Dodgers and what those three teams are. First of all, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers won 3 titles. Yes.
It would be in my skin.
Kobe was drafted by the LA Lakers. The 2000 Yankees had a core 4 that they put in place: Jeter, Rivera, Posada, Pettit. And they also had guys like Bernie Williams, who they also drafted. The Patriots drafted Tom Brady. This Dodgers team does not have one of their core players that was in their system. Ohtani, not theirs. Betts, not theirs. Freeman, not theirs. Skubal, Glasnow, Snell, Yamamoto. I can go on and on. They have not put this team together through their system. They've used their system to put this team together, but ain't not one of these guys that none of them are a Dodgers drafted player.
I think the only 2 that I can think of off the top of my head that are Will Smith and Robleski.
And was Kike?
No, he was. Well, technically yes, but I think he was traded before he was even in AA. He was one of those low-level minor league trades.
Yeah, so even then, it's still, again, I'm just...
He came from the Red Sox, didn't he?
I believe so.
I'm
not completely sure.
I think he came with Mookie Betts the same time Betts came there.
Yeah, you may be right, actually. I can't fully remember. But either way, I mean, look... It was, again, worst kept secret's over. Now the Dodgers, who are already the heavy favorites, are now even more favorite to go to the damn World Series. So, What do we say about this now?
Right.
Because
I mean, the only reason why I'm not as mad about this as like the free agency side of things is this was a trade. It's not like it's not like Scooble like picked the Dodgers and been like, you have to send me to the you have to send me to the Dodgers or I'm not going to be happy. Like free agency, if he would have did this and been like, well, I'm only signing with the Dodgers, it bothers me a little bit more. But during the trade deadline, these players, unless they waive their no trade clause and kind of dictate where they want to go, they really don't have a say of where they're getting traded. So yes, you can be mad at the Dodgers all you want for trading for Scooble, but it's I mean, if they were the only ones that if they were the only ones willing to kind of give up, I mean, they really gave up nothing to get him, but if they were really the only ones that were willing to kind of go the extra mile to get him, you kind of can't be mad at them for that because the Tigers could have still said no. If anything, you can be more mad at the Tigers than the Dodgers because the Tigers said no to a better package.
yeah, and I say, and that's like I said earlier. No matter what we say, this is a game that sometimes only the Dodgers are willing to play. Going up there and going after every big fish and offering what more teams won't, because there are a lot of teams out there that do not want to pay for rentals for 3 months when they know they're not going to get a long-term deal done with them and they don't want to give up the long-term assets to do it. And like I said, you can hate the player all you want, but it's the game that's the problem. And this was something that I think we all kind of expected. I mean, when we heard the Brewers, it's like, yes, but the Brewers don't make this move. They never have. The Brewers are a team that they are one of the teams that always hesitate to trade their assets because of how good of a system they have in place with their team.
The funny thing is, I got my uncle pretty good because I called my uncle and said the Cubs got Scooble. He's like, "What do you mean the Cubs got Scooble?" I'm like, "Yeah, the Cubs got Scooble," and he's like, "No, the Dodgers got Scooble." I'm like, "You do realize the one player that the Dodgers sent to the Tigers, Zaire Hope, was one of the Cubs' top prospects. They traded him to the Dodgers to get Michael Bush, and now he got traded from the Dodgers to get Tariq Scooble." I'm like, "Yeah, the Cubs got Scooble. They gave up one of their prospects that the Dodgers used to get Scooble, so in a way, the Cubs got him."
That's funny. That's actually hilarious. But yeah, it's just I'm just again, everybody should be upset because now if we had any hope left for the months that we've covered the whole situation with Major League Baseball, if we had any hope left of there possibly being a chance that we would not lose baseball next year, I think that's all out the door now.
Mm-hmm.
I think 100% the entire thing is out the door because there's no way we're not going to have a full season of baseball next year.
No.
No shot. Because this whole thing was just, yeah, fighting Philly. I agree. You kept the PG, so I'll post it. I agree. But
I will say this though. I know we're a long ways out yet. We're still, well, less than 2 months technically now, but long enough. If there's one team right now that if I'm the Dodgers, I would fear a little bit, and it would be the Cubs. And not just because the Cubs just swept them at Wrigley, but the one way that you can defeat the Dodgers in the playoffs is by having left-handed starters. And right now, the Cubs rotation, you would obviously have Clay Holmes, who you just picked up. But your rotation right now for the Cubs is Matthew Boyd, left-handed, Shota Imanaga, left-handed, David Peterson, left-handed, and then you'd have to figure out what you want to do between Gausman, Clay Holmes, and Edward Cabrera. And realistically, you could easily move Clay Holmes back to the bullpen because he closed with the Yankees forever. But you throw three lefties at the Dodgers in the best of five, that might not end well for the Dodgers.
no, because Otani and Freeman have. You saw with the Phillies last year. They struggled in that series against the Phillies because the Phillies had Sanchez and Luzardo.
Yep.
And it was rough, and Ranger Suarez still. So it was rough on them in that series to get through.
That's why, like, if I'm the Dodgers right now, I don't necessarily fear the Brewers because they don't have a left-handed starter. But the Cubs, if they would throw, and if Justin Steele comes back, he is the biggest X factor right now because Justin Steele is expected to be back at some point in September in some sort of a role, whether it's like a short 2 inning reliever, whether it's something. But if you get Justin Steele added to those 3 lefties to give you those 4 lefties, that could be bad for the Dodgers.
Because the Dodgers are like, a lot of their offense comes from that left side. I mean, I know they still have Betts and they still have some other guys, but their two best hitters are both left-handed. So, if there is a slight glimmer of hope that we can see to take down the Dodgers, it's a team with a lot of left-handed starters. And if the Cubs have it, maybe the Phillies if they get that to that point, but the Dodgers do not have the greatest luck with left-handed pitching. So hopefully somebody can break this curse and at least send us into the lockout with some with some damn freaking happiness, because I don't need to end the last season of baseball before a lockout with the Dodgers three-peating. I just don't need it.
Right.
But all in all, I got to give one thing about the Dodgers now is if they're going into a best of, I don't care if it's 5 or 7, you go Skubal and Yamamoto back to back. Good luck hitting those 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you got Wroblewski, who's been pitching really well this year. Then, of course, we still are waiting for Blake Snell and Glasnow to show up from their year-long IL stint, which feels like it's happened every year since they've been on the damn Dodgers.
I mean, you can't spell glass now without GALS, so I mean, he's made of glass anyways.
Blake Snell's a guy pitches 3 innings in his first start. He can't pitch. He hasn't pitched since.
Yeah, he's taking a year off. He'll be back in October.
Yeah, pretty much. Think there should be some investigating on with that as well, because that's just hilarious how it's happened now both years that he's been on the damn Dodgers. First it was the shoulder, now it's the elbow. Okay.
And I set it down. I said it like last year too. I said, and I compared him to the Florida Panthers when the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. It's like, how do you have every single one of your main guys out for like a month straight, and then they all come back miraculously with 2 or 3 games left in the regular season? Like the same thing can be said about the Dodgers. How do you have like I'm not questioning whether or not you have 4 starters out, but how do you have those 4 starters all coming back within the same time frame? There is no way that you can tell me honestly that all 4 of those players healed at the exact same rate at the exact same pace. There's no way you can you can't even justify that.
No, you can't. So I would be very, like I said, it's very interesting how some of that stuff works out. How now they'll have Skubal and watch Snell will be back in like late September, or he'll come back. He'll have like 2 starts. He'll get banged up again. Then he'll be out till October. It'll be very interesting to see what him and Glass, because him and Glass now are supposed to be rehabbing soon. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with those 2. But now, again, like I said, with the Dodgers, you put Skubal in that rotation with Yamamoto and him in the playoffs. Like, good luck hitting those 2.
Yeah.
With Wroblewski right behind them. And what's Shohei's deal lately? Is he pitching or no?
I think he's done.
Okay, so there you save yourself one embarrassment.
No, because you can make Shohei the closer.
Oh,
just because he said he's done starting doesn't mean he's done pitching. You make Shohei the closer, it's basically a 5-inning game.
Maybe I could see them doing it using Sasaki in that role again.
You do realize what the Dodgers are going to probably do come the playoffs, and I hate to say this because if it happens, I'm probably not going to show up on the show for a month. But you're going to have Skubal, Yamamoto, Wroblewski / Snell and Glasnow as your 4 starters. You're literally going to only ask those guys to go 5 innings, because then in inning number 6, you can go Roki Sasaki. Inning number 7, you can go Tanner Scott. Inning number 8 to Edwin Diaz. Inning number 9 to Shohei.
It could literally turn this into a 4-inning game, like
that's
in the blink of an eye.
That's why if I'm the Dodgers, I don't even want Shohei to start anymore. I want him in the bullpen, because then you can turn every single game into a 4 or a 5-inning game. Because then you would have those 4 guys lined up in the bullpen how you wanted it to go.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this is why I hate the fact that Taylor Skubal was on the Dodgers, because it's just one more weapon they didn't need. Like they were already the heavy favorites going into the damn season. Why did we have to? I'm going to agree with you. The more I talk about, the more pissed off I'm getting at the Tigers.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I look, I get you had to trade them so you didn't lose them for nothing, but you could have picked any other
You
damn
could have
team.
had Logan Henderson, who would have been the ace of that staff for the next 6 years.
You could have had Gage Wood, who will probably be major league ready by the time the new CBA's reached.
Yeah.
Gage Wood's already at AA dominating.
Yeah, like I don't know what went through the Tigers' heads when they were looking at these offers and they said, "Oh, the Dodgers offer is better." There is nothing on that Dodgers offer that was better than what the Brewers said on paper. Nothing at all.
This is again this is one of the teams that is bitchy and complaining about the current state of baseball.
Yeah.
You just added to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The one pitcher they got back in the deal is the same age as Scoob when he's at AA.
Mm-hmm. With a 5.86 ERA.
What the actual hell are we doing? What the actual hell are we doing? I am completely lost for words on what the hell I witnessed here. Why in the world would they do this?
I just don't know.
I got nothing. The Dodgers make me sick. That's all I could say is the Dodgers make me sick. The Dodgers make me sick. The Tigers pissed me off, and now I'm just over the entire situation. But
like the Brewers offered 19-year-old Luis Pena, who is the number 13 prospect in all of baseball, to the Tigers. They offered Logan Henderson to the Tigers. And then the Brewers also offered 2 more top 25 prospects. So again, how was the Dodgers offer better? Because none of the guys they offered are even top 100 prospects.
No. And that's the thing. I hate the people that say, like, oh, well, they got top prospects in that system. That doesn't mean crap. People are saying that, oh, the Giants got like the Phillies number 4 prospect. The Phillies prospect pool sucks. It's Gage Wood, and that's it.
Zaire Hope was the Dodgers' number 15 prospect in their system. He's number 17 in the Tiger system. So he actually dropped 2 spots after getting dealt.
That's a joke. That is an absolute joke. But if you had to give your grade on the Tarik Skubal trade, how would you swing it?
F for the Tigers. I might even give him an F. I might even give him an F minus, just because they, yeah. Dodgers obviously I'm gonna have to give an A plus because they gave up shit to get him.
I'll give the Tigers a D plus. Maybe Zaire Hope can salvage it one day, but I'm still giving them the damn D because you gave them to the damn Dodgers. It's D because you gave them to the damn Dodgers. That's why. We did not have to go into this.
Right.
So listen, the Twitter bookmarks have been very busy for me. I got almost every major trade that happened since the Tarik Skubal one went down. So why don't we dive into some of these and give our thoughts? Why don't we kick it off with Freddie Peralta being dealt to Tampa Bay, who I know Peralta had a really rough start in his Rays debut. I thought they had a good deadline.
They did, but the problem right now with Freddie Peralta is he's pitched so bad this year. He's at the point now where he's pitching himself off a playoff roster.
Yeah.
Because you look at the Rays right now, you got Shane McClanahan, Drew Rasmussen, and Nick Martinez. That's going to be your top 3 in whatever series you're going into. Peralta was supposed to come in and be that number 4, which if he's your number 4, that's a legitimate top 4. But the guy's ERA is almost a freaking 6. Like you cannot throw that out there in the playoffs.
No, and the other thing is like I thought this was the perfect situation for him because he's essentially basically, you know, we said all season about Freddie Peralta because I believe he was on I think he was on my dud list for June. Mm-hmm. And I was saying like this is not the same Freddie Peralta that was in Milwaukee. Well, essentially, in a way, you kind of just dealt him to the team that's the closest thing to the Brewers in the American League. Because Tampa and Milwaukee run their teams very identically. So
I'm just wondering if he's tipping his pitches.
It's
Because
not something,
you
man.
cannot tell me that he has fallen that far off from last season.
No, you can't. And this move should be the move. I'm like, wow, Tampa's actually, because let's honestly, if you look at it, the American League is wide open.
No, it's not. It's literally
Yes,
it's a two-team race. It's the Yankees and Rays. That's the American League. Everybody else is
I don't even know if I have the Yankees in this.
I do, because they still have the pitching. They still have the pitching where they can shut you down in the playoffs. They're going to get Judge back at some point. They're going to get Bellinger back at some point. They're pitching with Max Fried, Garrett Cole, Will Warren, and Cam Schlitter. I mean, that's a good starting four. Like, that rotation can shut down pretty much any lineup in that American League. They have the pitching to make a deep run. It's just their health this year is what's been kind of holding them back. But everybody else in the American League is just so far behind those two teams that if one of those teams goes down, then the American League becomes wide open.
Yeah, because I mean, well, let's be honest, the reigning AL champs, they're out of the equation. They've had a rough. They're in last place.
Yeah, but yet they go and sign up Jose Soriano.
True, and we'll get into that move in a second. I mean, I think the White Sox are still a few years away from being in a position where I could say, yeah, this team could.
I mean, if you look at the playoff standings right now, if the playoffs start today, the White Sox are the 2 seed in the American League. They have a first round bye.
Yes, but that's because the AL West is a complete shit show.
And what happens in a first round bye? There's a chance that the Yankees could get knocked out.
Yeah, because I honestly think the first round bye is bad for most teams.
The wild card right now would be the Yankees versus Red Sox.
Just like last year.
2 of the hottest teams in the American League. One of those teams is going to go down before the division round. So that opens up things for the American League anyways. So even if the White Sox are 1 year away, they can still win that divisional series if one of those teams goes down, because you can bet that's going to be a 5-game series.
Yeah. You brought up the Yankees a second ago. Let's talk about it. Luis Garcia from the Nationals. They needed bats.
They needed bats. He's a great hitter this year. He's going to make a killing with that short porch in right field. And then once you get Bellinger and Aaron Judge back, you can easily put him between both those guys. So then now you're looking at a lineup that's going to have Ben Rice hitting 2, Judge hitting 3, Garcia hitting 4, Bellinger hitting 5. Like, I like that 5. Jazz Chisholm hitting 6. I'd put those 5 up against almost anybody else.
Yes, but they're not better than cleanup hitter Luis Arraez, baby. Deep shot, first homer is a fill. Let's go.
Yeah, just those 5 together. Those 5 together in the Yankees lineup would make it difficult for a lot of teams. And you can even move him up to number 2 if you want, and drop Ben Rice down a spot. Like, Ben Rice has been hitting number 2 just because Bellinger's pretty much been out. If you really wanted to, you could go Garcia 2, Ben Rice 3, Judge 4, Bellinger 5, and then you still have Chisholm 6.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Orlando, who's a fan of the show, of course. I was trying to talk him into his trade deadline acquisitions. The fact that Garcia, I mean, guy's got an 878 OPS, 24 homers, 78 ribbies. He's batting 285. He's 26.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he's a left-handed bat. They wanted to have that platoon at first base. I think they want to strictly put Rice. It sounds like they want to have Rice at DH.
Yeah.
Or they want to platoon DHs because Stanton. I don't know what Stanton's deal is this year, if he even comes back.
No, I mean, like I said, that short right field porch for him, he has an outside shot to get the 40 homers this year. Now that he's in this lineup in this stadium.
If he goes on like that Matt Carpenter run when Carpenter went to New York.
Yeah.
But, and like, when you look at the way the Yankees have handled first base, like, yeah, Rice has played there a lot. Goldschmidt has been murdering left-handed pitching all season.
Yeah.
But they needed somebody to combat it from the left side against righties. And Garcia is one of the I feel like that may be one of my top 5 moves of the deadline.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good this is. And then they get Heliot Ramos from the Giants. They have needed some production out of their outfield for years. The hell with this year. We're talking years. Because now, left field's been like the revolving door of crap for the Yankees for a long time whenever Bellinger's not out there. Or if you put Bellinger there, then it's center field. You literally could have come back when they're all healthy to an outfield of Ramos, Bellinger, and Judge.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the best Yankees outfield I've seen in almost a decade.
Yeah.
All 3 spots I'm talking. I know Judge has been here for a long Judge has been here for a decade. I get that. But outside of that, this is probably, you don't have to bank on the Cinderella season like that Trent Grisham gave you last year. But again, and that's a perfect point. Like you said, look what the short porch in right field did for a guy like Trent Grisham. Imagine what it could do for someone like Luis Garcia. And again, Garcia's a young guy's in the prime of his career. Like, he actually may come on here and he'll probably be this damn productive for the Yankees for a while.
Yeah.
So I think the Yankees had a good deadline. Just they needed bats. They don't need the pitching. They have that.
Yeah, and they also traded away Camilo Duvall, who hasn't done anything since he got traded to the Yankees.
You follow John Boy Media?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, it was so funny last year when they had their trade deadline show and they had acquired Bednar, and like a half hour later they got Duvall, and they made a live reaction video to how awesome it was that they got Camilo Duvall. And oh my, have the mighty have fallen. Camilo Duvall was not good for the Yankees at all.
How's your forehead?
I am just I found it so funny that Duvall, within a year, is already off the Yankees. Because that was funny. But, yeah, I mean, hey, the Pirates, they took a flyer on Duvall because, I mean, Denny Santana, who was one of their back-end guys last year, who was great. They DFA'd him last week.
Right.
They took a flyer on Duvall, and they got Luke Weaver. I think that move is really good for the Pirates.
Yeah, because that's now your 8th and 9th inning role right there, Duvall and Weaver.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to need Duvall to go back to what he was with the Giants, but I don't know if I bank on that at PNC. But, yeah, I mean, Pirates. I mean, Pirates some credit. They got a little active here. Oh, fighting Philly, I agree. I could not stand Luis Garcia. Every time the Phillies played the Nationals, it felt like every damn time he hit like 3 home runs in the damn series. It was very annoying. All right, let's continue to roll through this because there's a lot that's happened over the past 4 days over the weekend between Thursday and freaking Monday. All right, well, let's go to you guys. Kevin Gausman?
I mean, Kevin Gausman, or I only have one thing to say about that move. Kevin Gausman or Jameson Taillon. We literally traded Jameson Taillon to the Blue Jays for cash the day before we got Gausman. So basically, that basically means we traded Jameson Taillon for Kevin Gausman, basically. And because Kevin Gausman's making $8 million more than Jameson Taillon, that's where the cash comes in. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. A big upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was pitching big-time postseason games just a year ago, and guys pitched pretty well in the postseason, too.
Yeah, he'll be the Cubs' number 3 or number 4 starter in the playoffs, so, I mean, that's a massive upgrade.
Exactly. And, again, you need guys that can give you stellar innings in the postseason, and the Cubs have had their fair share of injuries in the rotation. Now, of course, you made the point now they may have too many, but it's still you'd rather have a good problem than a bad problem.
Mm-hmm.
So getting Gausman, I thought, was a very big move for the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep it on that same team because then the Blue Jays, after trading away Gausman, they swing around and grab Jose Soriano from the Blue Jays. I guess I'm confused. Were they sellers or buyers?
I think he's their insurance policy because you needed someone to replace Gausman once because he was going to most likely leave anyways after this year for free agency. And with Jose Barrios having Tommy John this year, you knew you were going to need another arm in your rotation at some point. Soriano's that guy because he's still under team control for 2 more years. So he's like your insurance policy that's basically replacing what Gausman gave you.
Yeah. So, yeah, the team control is the important part. And I mean, look, Soriano's been pitching well this year. I mean, he got off to that great start, had a little bit of a clunky middle, but he's still pitched very well this year. And hopefully the Blue Jays can somewhat figure it out when baseball returns and get back to the AL contenders that they were, because I don't know what happened this year, but I mean, grabbing Soriano as like a future piece, I don't mind that.
No. Because he's good enough to be their ace on opening day next year, whenever opening day is. Him and Trey Savage will be your top 2. No, Dylan Cease, him and Trey Savage will be your top 3. That's a good top 3. Because they all throw hard.
Yeah. Because God knows that Savage, we're high on him. There's a lot. That 1-2 punch could be something. Because again, the Blue Jays are just a fascinating team. Because AL champs last year, last place this year. They finished last the year before in 2024. It's the weirdest 3-year stretch I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But I, for one, do believe that I like the Soriano deal. They gave up a little bit, but you know what? There we go. We're going to have a month of baseball, and then we'll go right to the postseason. Could you imagine? All right, now my next one's up. Let's dive into my guys for a second here. Phillies made 2 moves, acquired 3 players. They acquired Luis Arraez and relief pitcher Caleb Killian from the Giants in exchange for Ramon Marquez and Marty Gare. I've never heard of either of those 2 in my system because I don't have a good farm system. Then I had to listen to the local radio like, oh, I love Marquez. You don't. It's like Brad Pitt and Moneyball. You don't even know who Marquez is.
Right.
And then they also went out and acquired Brooks Raley from the Mets. That return I don't have in front of me, but I'll go first on this one. I mean, hell, Luis Arraez, 2 RBIs in his first game last night, couple hits, first home run as a Philly just now, hit it off the foul pole. Why Don Mattingly is batting him cleanup, I have no freaking idea, but it's working, so I'm not going to say a word.
Exactly. Why fix what isn't broken?
Well, here's the thing. I will say this: I'm not a fan of uprooting my entire defense for Luis Arraez. I don't like the idea that everybody's moving all over the place. However, there is not a very strong market for right-handed hitters at this deadline. The most prominent one that was moved was Taylor Ward, and Taylor Ward is having an awful season in terms of what he should be doing.
So Ramon Marquez was your number 7 prospect.
Oh, I thought somebody said he made it our number 1 pitching prospect, but
and then
Gage Wood still
the return for Brooks Raley was right-hander Luke Gabrish and outfielder John Spikerman, who was like your number 27 prospect.
That's fine. Again, it don't matter because I'm always saying it. Trade the prospects, but if you look at the way exactly, Fight Philly, the farm system sucks to begin with. Who cares? But if you look at the way that the Phillies operate at this deadline, I am upset still. I don't think they did enough. I still think they needed another starter. I still think that needed to be addressed, and they didn't. But the right-handed bat has been the same issue with this team for 3 to 4 years now. There is not a right-handed bat on this market that I saw that unless you were going to trade for, Mike Trout, who wasn't getting traded anyway. There was nothing out there that was going to bring you a significant upgrade to what you already had. So honestly,
Taylor Ward
going out, because regardless with Arise, he was one of the best bats on the market.
Taylor Ward would have given you an upgrade.
I don't know about that.
In that ballpark,
he's having a down year. He's been playing in Camden Yards all season.
Yeah, but who does he have for protection?
He's supposed to be providing the protection for Pete Alonso.
Yeah, and they're pretty much not really pitching to Pete Alonso, but Taylor Ward still is having a good year RBI wise.
Well, let's hold up. That whole Orioles team is a disappointment. So let's just keep that. Let's keep the main thing with the Orioles the main thing. They've been a disappointment all season. But either way, in their eyes, there wasn't a significant upgrade to a right-handed hitter. So instead of trying to play the game of let's find this year's Austin Hayes or Adolis Garcia, why don't we just go get the best pure contact hitter in the sport right now, which Luis Arraez is. Mm-hmm. The guy doesn't strike out. He puts the ball in play consistently. They needed a change in philosophy with the way they approach games at the plate. And the problem with this team is it's all about home runs, launch angles, and all that crap that I hate. Mm-hmm. Luis Arraez literally cannot find a consistent team because he doesn't hit the ball out of the ballpark. But the guy has 3 batting titles in, 5 years? Mm-hmm. They needed a change in philosophy with the way this lineup approaches a game and having a guy that just consistently... I mean, his home run tonight was on an 0-2 pitch. I could not tell you the last time one of the guys in this lineup hit a home run on an 0-2 pitch. Mm-hmm. They needed a change in that lineup that was for the better, and having a guy like Arraez where you could bat him anywhere between 1 through 4, and he's going to put the ball in play in all 4 at-bats. Whether he gets a hit or not, that's different, but the guy just consistently puts contact on the baseball.
I mean, so realistically, he should be your number 2. He shouldn't be number 3. He shouldn't be number 4. He should be your number 2 hitter behind Schwarber. That's where he should be, and that's where he should stay.
Yeah, again, you can make that. Yeah, and again, I honestly, personally, because the problem is now with my top 4, 3 of my top 4 hitters are lefties.
I mean, realistically, Arraez should be your leadoff hitter. He should be everybody's leadoff hitter that he acquires, but Schwarber's had so much success in that leadoff spot, you can't take him from there.
Yes, but the problem is that's the reason they've been looking for a right-handed hitter for so long. They've been trying to find it to protect Bryce Harper. The problem is the best protection they could do is put Schwarber behind him, but they can never move Schwarber out of the top of the lineup because nobody else can do it. So now maybe you have the option to operate a little differently. Let's see what Schwarber does as a cleanup hitter. You move Arraez to lead off, Turner bats behind him. He'll still be in front of Harper. Harper actually made drive-in runs again because he actually may come up with men on base.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Bryce Harper has not had the great. I think Bryce Harper's been better this year compared to last year. He's still not having the quote-unquote, I know it's a joke now, the elite season that people always are expecting to hear from him, but he still had a solid season, and he's been productive. The problem is with Bryce Harper, basically his whole Phillies career, he doesn't get a lot of chances for guys on base.
No, he does not.
Because guys don't get on base for him.
No.
And yes, Kyle Schwarber hitting in front of Harper is productive. And yeah, you know why Harper doesn't get to drive in runs when Schwarber's hitting in front of him? That's because Schwarber usually drives himself in. Because it's one swing, you're up 1 zip. But I don't care how they do with the lineup. Right now, it's working. Arraez is having a good start through 2 games out of the cleanup spot. I'm not going to sit here and try to knock it right now. Right now, it's working. You're playing a good team in the Nationals to kind of tinker with things. Because, I mean, let's be real. The Nationals are not a good baseball team. So you can literally tinker with these things as you play them and see what works and what doesn't. Now, when you play teams like the Dodgers, we'll have to talk differently. But I like the Arraez addition. I feel a little bit better about it than I did earlier. I was a little concerned about uprooting my entire defense, but as long as we can just hit this offense gets better throughout the year, I'm cool with it. I praise Bryce Harper for sacrificing to go back to the outfield, which ironically last night, first pitch of the game, fly ball right to him. So, and again, I think Bohm I actually like Bohm as a first baseman more than a third baseman. And again, Bryson Stott, he's such an elite defender. I don't care where he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a nice in between chopper to him yesterday that he had to kind of make up a little bit of a play on, which he did fine. So I'm cool with it. I just hope this again. Nothing matters unless the big boys hit in October. But in terms of the other guys they got, Caleb Killian, who actually used to pitch for you guys,
Yeah.
spent some time with the Cubs. We got to see him pitch last night. Throws hard, 97. He's got a good strikeout rate and a good whiff rate on his slider, apparently. And I kind of look at him as like he's also got, I think, another year or two of team control.
That's not even his slider either.
Is it not?
That's his cutter.
Oh, Jesus Lord.
He's got a fastball, cutter, changeup, curveball.
So having look, and he's another guy. I think that maybe this is like another Caleb Cotham project. Maybe like what he's done this year with Jonathan Bolin turned him into a really effective.
He's basically Brad Keller 2.0. Like Caleb Killian was the Cubs' #1 pitching prospect for like 4 years. He was a starter, never could stay healthy. Like they would call him up to the majors. Every time they would call him up to the majors, he would get hurt. He could never stay healthy. Then his final year in Chicago, they said, we're going to move you to the bullpen to try to keep you healthy. He saw the velocity go from 95 up to 99, 100 when they moved him into the bullpen, and he started showing like, okay, I have the stuff to be a high leverage reliever. Got hurt again. Didn't come back until August, and then the Cubs just ended up cutting ties with him. But he's got the potential to be your 8th inning guy now that Keller's gone.
Yeah. Or even if he's not, he has the potential to be maybe a consistent like 7th inning guy. Because I really honestly right now, because again, they're going to give the guys that have been here. If I'm the Phillies right now, Jonathan Bolin's my 8th inning guy. He's been so good for them. Mm-hmm. It should be a Ryan Kerkering, but I can't trust Kerkering right now. Mm-hmm. He is one night, it's a 9-pitch inning. The next night, he's walked the bases loaded on 12 pitches. So I like the fact that they did address the bullpen. I like the Brooks Raley move. They desperately needed a left-handed reliever. Tanner Banks not replicating what he did last year. Alvarado's been better lately, but still, some nights it's an adventure. Some nights I can get an immaculate inning, and then the other nights I get Rick Vaughn from Major League One. Mm-hmm. So
the other trade that I want to talk about with the Cubs too that I know we forgot to mention was Clay Holmes.
Oh, I didn't forget. I got to yet.
Oh, I thought, okay. I didn't know. I thought you were team by team.
So listen, the Twitter bookmarks were saved accordingly.
Oh, Jesus.
I love that. I love the Clay Holmes move. The Mets sold off everything they could.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, you got Tyrone Taylor, who murders lefties, which the Cubs said they wanted a left-handed platoon bat, which they have now. You got Clay Holmes, who is the best ground ball pitcher in baseball right now, pitching in front of the best middle infield defense in baseball. So that already is a match made in heaven right there. And you got
built up the middle.
You got both of those guys. You got both of those guys for one prospect. Yeah. You traded one guy to get both of those guys. That alone, like regardless of the Tarik Skubal deal, that trade by the Cubs to me was the single best trade any team made at the deadline. It's because you got Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor for one prospect. You didn't have to give up more than one prospect. You didn't have to give up major league talent. You literally gave up one prospect for those two guys.
And again, you're looking at Tyrone Taylor, who at worst is what, a 4th outfielder, defensive replacement guy that can start if you need him to.
He's he's starting against lefties. Ian Happ has now been benched against left-handed pitching.
Okay, so there you got a nice little platoon there and left now.
Ian Happ, and like you said, Ian Happ is down to 124 against lefties this year.
Yeesh.
So, yeah, Ian Happ is only going to start against right-handers, and Tyrone Taylor is now going to start against left-handers.
Yeah, and again, like you said, with the way that Holmes pitches and the way Gosman pitches, like again, you say that with a defensive infield, I'm going to do you one better. You guys are the best middle of a baseball team I've ever seen. Not only do you have two of the best fielding middle infielders in the sport, hit a fly ball to center field, watch what happens.
Ball
Like
will
you have
never
gold all over the middle of that
the
defense.
ball
So
will never hit the ground if you hit it to center.
exactly. So the Cubs, that's why I like what they did. They got starting pitching depth, which they needed. Clay Holmes can honestly, I see Clay Holmes being like, yeah, I think he'll be in the rotation, but in the playoffs, I could see him being that guy that's like a Swiss Army knife. Like he could do multiple things. He could pitch late in games. He could be a stretch guy out of the bullpen, or he could start you a postseason game and give you 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah.
And like you said, we were talking off camera about this. They have other guys in that are starters that like David Peterson. You could have Holmes start a game, go 4 innings, up, guys get on base, he starts the tire, bring Peterson in for 3, 4 innings. Like you have so much versatility with your pitching staff now. It's kind of scary. And we were talking from since June. We had some weeks on this show. You were questionable to show up because you didn't want to talk about another Cubs injury.
Yeah, now like we literally went from starting pitching being an area of weakness to being our area of strength right now.
Yeah. That's the thing about the trade deadline. You can turn a weakness into a strength like that.
Then we also added Ryan Zephyr.
Hard thrower.
Oh, that slider he throws is wicked.
Did I read right who they traded to the Angels for him?
What was it?
Who did they trade for him?
Yeah, that one's the one that hurts. They traded Moises Ballesteros.
Why?
That's the one that hurts.
Why? It kind of walked me through
Moises
this.
Ballesteros was actually part of the Reed Detmer package. When the news broke that the Cubs got Reed Detmer, Moises Ballesteros was like the biggest, like the key piece of that deal. But then the Angels pulled out of that deal because they didn't want to trade both Detmers and Soriano at the same time. They wanted to at least hang on to one of them. So once Soriano got dealt, then they're like, well, we can't trade Detmers. But because the Cubs and Angels were already talking, the Cubs just left Ballesteros on the table, and then it ended up getting looped in with Zephyr John. So, yeah, that's the one that hurts because now Ballesteros has a chance to play every day, which he will. He started last night. I think he had 2 hits right away. I mean, the guy can hit. Now the question is, do the Angels try to develop him as a catcher, or are they just going to be like, you're a DH, just play every day DH and just see what you can become? But, yeah, that was losing Jefferson Rojas. It hurt, but he was a shortstop who's going to be blocked for the next 4 years when you look at the Cubs infield. So losing him, I understand it because he's got nowhere to play. Losing Ballesteros is the one that hurts because he was your opening day DH this year. You're probably losing Carson Kelly in free agency next year, so you're going to need another catcher, which he could have been your backup catcher. But even at worst, he could have been your everyday DH next year. That's the one. That's the one that stings.
Real quickly, as we continue to roll through all these moves, I just wanted to point out that I thought this tweet from Joel Sherman was pretty funny. You know who's going to be happy that the Phillies acquire Brooks Raley? The Phillies' 2 top hitters. Schwarber against Raley is a career 0 for 10 with 4 strikeouts. Marsh 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts. Harper 2 for 9, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah.
For a 38 years old, but Brooks Raley consistently holds lefties under a 220 batting average.
Yep.
And again, like I said, they needed another lefty because their lefties in the bullpen, the best one we've had all year has been Mason. Even he's been hit or miss. All right, now we're going to move into we're going to move back into some American League stuff. Jo Adell to the Guardians.
I mean, that doesn't do much for me, really. Just gives him more power in that lineup, but he's not
They needed something.
He's not an everyday player, though. I mean, they've tried him as an everyday player, and he's very streaky, so like that doesn't do too much for me. That doesn't put the Guardians over the top. That's not a move that's going to do that.
Well, one of their other move that they made, I will say, does, and I'll talk about that in a second. Taylor Ward goes to Seattle. I mean, look, that's a Seattle team that's been looking for a right-handed hitter to replace Suarez.
They've been looking for hitters, period, for like a decade. So any offensive at bat's a good move for them.
That is true. Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox.
I mean, in interdivision trades are rare as it is at the deadline. But just think, the Red Sox were seen as sellers 3 weeks ago, and then they went on a 14-game win streak, and now they're 11 games above 500. I mean, they played themselves into a buyer, and that's why
Again,
Sonny Gray did not get traded, because they played themselves into a buyer.
that's why Chapman didn't get traded.
Yep.
That's why Contreras they kind of screwed the whole deadline up by going on that win streak, because they were the team that was probably going to have 3 big pieces sold off, and then all of a sudden now, like you said, they're 11 games over.
Yep.
I think the Adley Rutschman situation in Baltimore, I think it just ran its course.
Oh, I do too.
Not to mention the Red Sox were desperately looking to upgrade the left side of their infield. I mean, they did acquire Curtis Mead last week from the Rays, but of course he broke his wrist on his first game, and now he's going to be out for an extended period of time. I think they started to search around the infield market, and they were looking at guys like I think the 2 names that they were poking around with. I think they talked to the Angels about Zach Neto. I think they talked to the Astros about Jeremy Pena.
Mm-hmm.
However, the asking prices for those 2 were pretty high. So I think after the Red Sox saw that, okay, we probably aren't going to have the ammo to go in and grab one of them, they said, well, can we upgrade the catcher position? And I think Adley is still a good player. I have no idea what's been going on the past few years in Baltimore.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll get back to the player we thought he was going to be. I'm not sure he will.
He's in the ballpark to do it.
Yeah, and again, it's a risk worth taking. It's not like the Red Sox have Jason Varitek back there.
Right.
And if anything, if Adley doesn't ever put it together again, he's a 260 hitting catcher, maybe on average, that can help control your pitching staff.
Right. Switch hitter, too.
Exactly. Here's one that really threw me off again. The Rays were active, and I love this move. Liam Hicks going from the Marlins to the Rays.
Made instant impact already with his grand slam.
Did he really already hit a grand slam for them?
First game, he had a game-winning grand slam in the 8th inning.
I mean, look, this is the Tampa lineup that is basically I'm not saying it's being carried, but 85% of their damage comes between Junior Caminero, Aranda, and Yandy Diaz. So any way that you can lengthen that lineup, you got to go out and do it, because that's the one thing with the Rays. Like we talked about, if they can get Freddie Peralta back to somewhat of what he was in Milwaukee, and you put that pitching staff together with those 4, and the only issue with the Rays could be is their lineup, because it's not as deep. They have 3 guys that do their damage: Aranda, Caminero, Yandy. Liam Hicks this year, 284, 15 homers, 66 RBIs, and 808 OPS. That plays. And now you put him in that lineup, it gives you another producer in that lineup. So hopefully that can help the Rays. And I believe they got a reliever from the Orioles in Tyler Wells, who's pitched to like a 260 ERA this year.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Astros got Dalton Varsho. I mean, defensively, that will help the Astros a lot, but offensively, that doesn't do much.
I kind of like. I do kind of like the White Sox moves too.
Get Luis Castillo from the Mariners. I like that.
They get Brenton Doyle, who's a multiple Gold Glove winner from Colorado. You're getting him for the outfield. You added Joey Bart, he's considered a backup catcher, but he's an instant upgrade for what the White Sox had at the catching position. So you added Joey Bart to the mix.
Basically, what they did was they upgraded what they could, and they didn't take a lot of playing time away from young players, which is always what I like to see about a young team who is basically in the middle of contention again, but they don't want to take at-bats away from young guys. Why the hell did the Kansas City Royals decide to trade Chris Bubich to the Dodgers? I'll never understand.
Because the Royals suck this year.
I don't care. Suck and trade them to somewhere else. I understand a lot of people are upset that the Brewers didn't get like Tarik Skubal. I like the additions of Dustin May and JoJo Romero.
I like the addition of freaking Antonio Sensatella as their 7th inning guy now.
That's true. And you got JoJo now coming up out of the left side. So then, of course, we got to talk about the team that's been trying to gun for the Dodgers in their own division, the San Diego Padres, who easily added two of the top starting pitchers available at the deadline, getting Robbie Ray and Casey Mize.
Yeah.
Look at the. If we know something about the Padres, they are going to do their best to try to freaking beat you in pitching. So maybe the Padres can make something interesting. I mean, offensively this year they haven't been as good as they've been in the past, but
they can make the wild card.
rotations.
They can make the wild card race interesting, but they won't be able to. They won't be able to track down the Dodgers. They're way too far back.
I'm not talking about tracking them down. I'm just talking about what if they get into the dance and they play them. Those series are always interesting.
What's kind of funny what the Padres did too, though. They actually had an offer in place for Adrian Morejon too. Like Adrian Morejon's been like one of the better left-handed relievers for the last 4 or 5 years, and the Yankees and Padres actually had a package that they agreed upon to get him, but then I forgot who pulled out, but one of the two teams pulled out. But Adrian Morejon was almost dealt over to the Yankees.
I did see that. And then I got one more big impactful one. I mean, of course, we also have Jeff Hoffman going to the Twins. Twins added a couple relievers. They got him and AJ Minter. Guardians, outside of getting Joe Adell, they added Nathaniel Lau from the Reds. He's had a solid year for them. But the Guardians made my favorite move, Foster Griffin.
Yeah, I like that move.
If you want to now look, don't get me wrong. I understand that the Guardians offense doesn't have a lot of talent. Mm-hmm. They're not going to hit with some of these teams. But I'll tell you right now, if the Cleveland Guardians met the Tampa Bay Rays in the American League playoffs, and they have on Tampa side, you got Peralta,
McClanahan,
Martinez, Rasmussen, and Martinez, and they can counter with Gavin Williams, Foster Griffin, Parker Messick, and Tanner Bybee, I will sign up to watch that series because, oh my God, that shit's going 5. Because it's going to be nothing but 2-1 games the entire series. I have no clue in what universe how the Guardians pulled that off. I could not believe the Guardians were as active as they were. Like you said, is Adell an everyday player? No, but he may be able to add some pop from the right side. Same thing with Nathaniel Love. Can he provide pop from the left side? And then you get another top-end starter and put together, in my opinion, what rotations in the American League?
I don't understand why the Nationals even got rid of Foster Griffin either, because they're not that far out of the wild card race, and you have one of the best offenses in baseball with James Wood, Garcia, and C.J. Abrams. You got rid of Garcia, who was your third on your RBI list, and then you got rid of your ace in Foster Griffin. Like, I don't know why the Nationals even did that, because they were positioned to make a pretty good run in the second half to make things interesting.
I will get to them in a moment, because I got some things to say. But all right, Dustin, let's get into our stud or dud segment real quick. But before we do, let's get quick fire question real quick. Trade deadline. Let's put a wrap on it. Give me one of your biggest winner, your biggest loser.
Biggest winner, I'm going to say my Cubs got the biggest winner. Just because they got not only a proven pitcher in the playoffs with what Gausman did last year, but you basically got him for Jameson Taillon, who was having the worst year of his career. Instant upgrade, even if Gausman doesn't come close to what he did last year, it's an instant upgrade. But the fact that you were able to give a 21-year-old prospect away to get a guy in Clay Holmes, who, when you look at how Clay Holmes pitches, the Cubs are the perfect team for him when you look at that defense. You got your perfect pitcher to pitch in Wrigley Field when the wind is blowing in cold conditions for a 21-year-old prospect and no one knows what he's going to be yet.
That's fair. I agree. I think the Cubs had a very good deadline. I think they addressed what they had to. They got their pitching depth that they desperately needed. But I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go with Tampa. I just think they had a really, really good deadline. I think the Liam Hicks addition really helps that lineup a lot. I think because again, like I said, now you have four guys that you got to be careful of with him,
Mhm.
Aranda, Caminero, Yandy. I think that lineup gets deeper. If Freddie Peralta can figure it out for the rest of the year, that rotation is probably the best in the American League. And
Mhm.
then you get Tyler Wells, who's pitching to a sub-3 ERA out of Baltimore, and you put him in your bullpen, which is already still pretty damn solid. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay Rays. Fighting Philly said biggest winner is the Padres. Okay, again, you added two of the best pitchers on the market, so I don't hate it. It could have been a lot of ones. All right, give me a winner. Not a winner, a loser. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Give me one big loser.
Tigers. Just because of the package you turned down to send Scooble to the Dodgers. Like, you had your replacement in Scooble in that package. But yet, for whatever reason, you didn't want it.
Yeah, I agree. that sums it up. All of baseball. That sums it up pretty well. I could say, the Tigers. It's very easy to say that. I get it. I'm going to go with the Braves. I thought the Braves would have been a lot more keen on adding. They were heavy on the starting pitching market. They desperately need it. Didn't really do what I thought they would have been in on Robbie Ray, Casey Mize. I thought getting a big time starter like that would have been in their cards, and I really expected them to land one, but however, they decided not to. So I'm going to have that as my biggest loser.
I did have the Nationals as a close second just because of letting Garcia and Griffin go when you're still in that race.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, now last one. Give me your favorite. What's your favorite trade? Favorite move at the deadline?
A rise to the Phillies.
Really?
Yeah.
You care to explain?
He's the exact opposite hitter of anything else that lineup has, and he's exactly what that lineup needed: a contact first hitter that's not going to strike out, that's going to take walks when you need him to, but he just freaking puts the bat on the ball no matter the situation.
I love the explanation. I try to keep it off of my favorite team because I do love the Arise edition. And Fighting Philly said he's going with Luis Garcia to the Yankees. I think he's mostly saying that just because he's happy we don't have to deal with him. I'm also going to stick, but I am going to stick with the team that traded Luis Garcia. I'm going to say I'm going to stick with it. Foster Griffin go to the Guardians. I love that addition. Like I said, if they play Tampa in the playoffs, you got Bybee and Gavin Williams from the right side. You've got Griffin and Parker Messick from the left side. Good luck, man. That's got to be one of my favorite additions. I love it. Like I said, they're two offensive additions. Will it be much? We don't know. But I do really, really enjoy the Foster Griffin move going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into our studs and our duds. Where do we want to start this week?
I want to start with one stud first.
Kick us off.
Sean Burke of the White Sox. Heading into the season, he was viewed as that team's number 3 starter and even number 4 starter. And not only has Sean Burke turned into the ace of that White Sox staff, he's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball for the better part of 2 months, and nobody even talks about him. Unless you watch the White Sox or unless you watch a lot of American League baseball, there's not too many people that are going to know who Sean Burke is. Last 10 games for Sean Burke. I'll see if I can pull that up. Last 10 games for Sean Burke, he's got a 2-3 record. But he's got a 3.27 ERA, and he's got 68 strikeouts in 54 innings.
Very impressive.
And he struck out 10 Yankees against the Yankees last week when he faced the Yankees. White Sox won that game 2-1 in 14 innings. He had struck out 11 Yankees in 5 innings.
Ooh. Okay, it's the 5th inning, and Andrew Painter got pulled in a 2-1 game. Why? That would be interesting to figure that out. All right, so I'm going to stay on the mound. I'm going to go out to the National League. And I'm going to say one of my studs. I got to go out to the Dodgers. I hate to do it because I can't stand the Dodgers, as we know. But I'm going to go with Justin Wroblewski. I mean, dude's literally been a Dodgers rotation again. No Blake Snell basically the entire year. Glass now out most of the year. Yamamoto's still doing his thing. Now they got Scooble. But man, Wroblewski, 11-3, 3.31 ERA. Dude's been, he was an all-star this year. Dude's been awesome for the Dodgers rotation. That's been, once again, you have two guys out for most of the year. Otani's not pitching right now. I'll go with Wroblewski as my first stud of this segment. We want to stay on the studs, or we want to kind of rotate back and forth?
No, my second stud, I'm going to stay in the same city. My second stud, I'm going Pete Crow Armstrong. I mean, he's been getting a lot of hype for the MVP as of late.
Yes.
And if there was any doubt as to whether or not he deserves the MVP, what he did in the Dodgers series this week kind of solidifies that I think he should be the MVP favorite in the National League right now. Head-to-head with Shohei this weekend, which those are probably your two favorites right now in the MVP. Pete Crow Armstrong goes 3 for 3 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs in his first 2 at-bats today.
Yeah.
And he's up to 26 home runs, 1 home run behind Shohei. He's up to 68 RBIs, 2 RBIs behind Shohei. Shohei's hitting at 292. Pete Crow Armstrong's hitting at 289. Shohei has 66 walks. Pete Crow Armstrong has 60 walks. Shohei has 113 strikeouts. PCA has 124 strikeouts. Not to mention PCA also is like 30 for 34 in stolen bases. Basically, the numbers between the two are so close that you have to look at all the other aspects of the game. There is not one player in baseball that is a better defensive player than PCA. And what he is able to do in center field, I think, is what's going to ultimately give him the edge for the MVP this year.
Won't hate it. PCA's been awesome. Even after that slow start, he's been awesome as of late. My next stud, I'm going to Tampa Bay, and I'm going with Jonathan Aranda. You know, like, again, I was talking about the Rays lineup during the trade deadline talk. Junior Caminero gets all the love in that lineup because of what a stud he is. Aranda has had a very strong year. He's hitting 285, 14 homers, 70 RBIs, 809 OPS. It's just been a very steady and consistent player for the Rays over the past couple of years. Hits for a good average. I mean, he hit 316 last year for them and drove in 60 runs in only 106 games. He's already played more games this year. Possibly could reach the 90 RBI mark. I mean, he still has about 2 months to easily hit it. And if the Rays are going to want to go far into the playoffs, I think their pitching will carry them. But offensively, I think if Aranda, Caminero, Yandy, and Hicks can do their thing, I like this Rays team, man. They right now, they're the best team in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
So who you got next?
I'm sticking with the Cubs for one more because I'm kind of homer heavy because the Cubs are playing well right now. But Javier,
how many studs do you have? 3?
Yeah. Javier Assad is my next one. And Javier Assad he's what you call a Swiss Army knife. He can do a little bit of everything for you. He can start, he can close, he can be your long reliever, he can do whatever. In 5 appearances in the month of July, 3 starts, Javier Assad pitched 19 innings, collecting 3 holds, 1 save, logging a 1.50 ERA with 17 strikeouts. And then he goes up against the Dodgers yesterday, against Tarik Skubal yesterday, which could probably be the final start that Assad makes, knowing the additions that the Cubs have coming back. And he outpitches Tarik Skubal yesterday, allowing 2 hits and 5 2/3 innings.
Spectacular. I love the fact that the Cubs just came in and spoiled the entire damn week for the Dodgers, and I'm happy of it because I can't stand the Dodgers. All right, so I got 2 studs left, and I have a pair of former teammates. First one, both trade deadline acquisitions that we talked about as well. First up, I'm going to say Luis Garcia. This guy's had, again, I brought up his numbers earlier, 878 OPS, 24 homers, 78 ribbies. .285, still only 26 years old. It's just been a very, very good damn hitter this year for the Nationals and now the Yankees. And where's my other one that I had? Again, I'm staying with the theme here of a trade deadline acquisition. Foster Griffin, 12-3 this year, 3.06 ERA, 129 the third, 116 strikeouts, WHIP at 1.07. Another one like Robleski was an All-Star this year. So again, I really like their pair of former Nationals that are having really good seasons.
Yep.
Now let's move on to the favorites. Let's go to that dud section.
Yeah.
Can I start this, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I've been waiting for like 20 minutes here. My first dud is a team, and it's the Washington freaking Nationals, who, by the way, have punted on every season since winning that stinking freaking World Series in 2019. Ever since that season, they have sold off every valuable piece they've ever had. The second they won that World Series. Now, don't get me wrong, Rendon left in free agency. Thank goodness he left, because that contract would have killed them. Steven Strasburg, they re-signed him. He ended up having to retire. Again, not their fault. You got rid of Juan Soto. Okay. You got rid of Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. Okay, whatever. You trade Juan Soto to the Padres, and you get a package that included James Wood, who is going to be one of the best players in baseball by 2028.
Yep.
CJ Abrams, who is already making the case to be a top 10 shortstop in baseball right now, and Mackenzie Gore. You've already traded Mackenzie Gore away, who the one thing you like to see out of your starting pitchers in this day and age in baseball, high strikeout percentage. Mackenzie Gore has a very good strikeout percentage. You dealt him to the Texas freaking Rangers. Then
you wouldn't see it. I already pulled it out.
Done.
You have the entire situation this year where, like you said, they're not far out of the wild card, and they have guys like Foster Griffin having a good year, Luis Garcia having a good year, Woods and Abrams having good years. And then all of a freaking sudden at the trade deadline, they move Luis Garcia to the Yankees, and they trade Foster Griffin to the freaking Guardians. On top of that, CJ Abrams' name was brought up in trade discussions, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded during the offseason. This team does not give two craps about winning a damn thing ever again.
Nope, they don't.
The second they get a core together, they rip it apart. It started with the Soto thing. Then, like I said, they had a good return. Gore, Abrams, and Woods. They've already traded Mackenzie Gore. And now they trade Griffin, All-Star, Garcia, All-Star, good player. I'm sure Abrams or Woods will be traded within the next 2 years. This organization is a bona fide joke. That's my that's my Nationals dud and rant, because now I'm good now.
Nah, my first dud, we talked about him briefly, is Freddie Peralta. Like, this guy is a complete shell of what he was in Milwaukee. I don't know if it's because he couldn't handle the pressure in New York. I don't know if it's because he's trying to pitch through an injury because he knows he's up for a big contract after this year. I don't know if it's because he's tipping his pitching. Something's not right with the guy, and he is pitching himself out of hundreds of millions of dollars right now.
Oh, indeed he is. It's not been pretty for George. It's not been pretty for Freddie Peralta this year. I think I had him on my list last month. I think he was on mine. All right, my second dud, I went to the Blue Jays, and I went George Springer. I hate to do that because I love Springer, but comparing what he did last year in 140 games with the 32 homers, the 84 RBIs, hit 300, had a big postseason. When Bo Bichette left, they were looking at George Springer to be the guy that would produce to try to replace some of his impact. 240, only 12 homers, 36 RBIs. It just hasn't been the best year for George Springer.
And ironically, I'm going to stay on that same team. For my next dud, Jameson Taillon. The guy's... Not only is the guy having a career worst year when you look at his ERA, I think his ERA is like a 7.20 now. But when he pitches, it is legitimately batting practice. He has given up the most home runs in baseball by 9, and he's got less starts than most of these people. 45% of the earned runs he has given up have come on home runs.
Jesus. Aaron Nola, is that you?
He went down to the minors for a rehab start and gave up 9 runs in 2 innings off of 4 homers.
Good grief.
That's the minors.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
My next dud, I'm going to the Mariners, but it really can't really blame the Mariners. I think he's played like 1 game. I'm going Taylor Ward. I expected Taylor Ward to go to Baltimore this year, be that protection for Pete Alonso. This guy has had one of the most down years I've ever seen for a right-handed power hitter. 245. He has 7 home runs and 30 RBIs. I would think you would have missed at least a good month of the season with those numbers. He's played 112 games, and he's only driven in 30 runs. Over the past two seasons with the Angels, 75 RBIs in 2024, 103 last season. He has 30 in 112 games, and he was playing in a hitter-friendly ballpark in Camden Yards, even with the renovations to the stadium. It's still a hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yep.
Seattle, I know you're trying to replace what you lost last year in Suarez. Good luck.
Yeah, my next one is the kind of what you did. I'm doing a double team on this one. So 2 teams. First one, we're not going to touch on too much. We touched on it enough already. The first one being the Detroit Tigers. They're the first one.
Oh, yes.
And then the second one, I'm going to say the Milwaukee Brewers. Mainly because you went after Skubal. Like, I give them a ton of credit for going after Skubal. But when you didn't get Skubal, what was your backup plan? Because I know your backup plan was not Dustin May. What was your backup plan when you're watching the Cubs get Clay Holmes and you're watching the Cubs get Kevin Gausman and you're watching the Cubs make the moves they're making? It didn't seem like the Brewers had a backup plan. Why didn't they go after Reed Detmers after Detmers and the Cubs fell through?
Why didn't they go get Casey Mize? I'm sure they could
Exactly.
have got cheap.
Like,
They probably could have got a cheaper package because we know for a fact they negotiated with Detroit.
They could have gone to the Angels and said, "We will give you these 3 guys for Detmers and Soriano together," and they could have got that done. So that leads me to believe that the Brewers put all their ducks in a row for Skubal, and when they didn't get him, they had no backup plan. Like, I understand that you have a 5-game lead in this division, and you've been leading the division since around Memorial Day. But if you think the Cubs are dead, you're going to be in for a rude awakening in the second half. And the kind of deadline the Brewers have are those deadlines that can cost the team in a division. When you let the team chasing you basically address every single need they have, and you partially address one of your needs, but not really.
Yeah, because, like, again, all right, Dustin May will eat you innings. Don't get me wrong. That's fine, whatever. But I'm not – and, like, I know you're talking about the Cubs, but with the way the wild cards are now and how many teams get in, you're not talking about winning a division. You have to sit down and say, who am I throwing against the Dodgers in a Game 3 of a series? I know I'm going Miz Game 1. I'm going Harrison Game 2. Who am I pitching Game 3? That's what you need to address, and you didn't do it. Dustin May is not a guy that I'm trotting out there in Game 3 of a playoff series.
No.
The second they knew they weren't getting Skubal, I would have been all over Soriano because of the team control. And if that didn't work out, go look for one of the other big ones. Look at a Robbie Ray. Look at Casey Mize.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, look at Kevin Gausman.
Yeah.
I would have looked at anywhere else. But don't get me wrong, Dustin May's been decent for the Cardinals this year, but again, like I said, it's about playoff series. Who am I pitching in a Game 3?
Mm-hmm.
My last dud. Oh, this actually hurts. Not even on my team anymore, but it hurts. Matt Strahm.
Oh, God.
Oh, God is right. This guy, over the past 3 seasons with the Phillies, was one of the best lefty relievers in baseball. In 2023, his first year with the Phillies, he had a 3.29 ERA. Now, he started 10 games that year, so he kind of had to mix up between the rotation and the bullpen. 2024, he had a career best 1.87 ERA, and then last season, he pitched to a 2.74 ERA. Now, there were some things with the Phillies that there were some velocity issues that they thought his velo was going down. There was also some small things in the clubhouse that I think that got brought up. But over his 3 years in Philly, Matt Strahm was one of the best lefty relievers in the sport. This year, gets dealt to Kansas City. Here's the first insult to injury. He pitched 41 games. He allowed 29 earned runs in 35 and 2/3 innings. That is good for a 7.32 earned run average.
Mm-hmm.
He was DFA'd 2 days ago by the Royals. And on top of that, the guy that they traded him for, Jonathan Bolin, who the Phillies, by the way, have 6 years of team control over, is 2-1 with a 3.03 ERA with 48 strikeouts and 38 and 2/3. And it's basically looked like Caleb Cotham's latest project that he's done well on. So,
Right.
Yep, my last dud, Matt Strahm, because, oh, good Lord, I have no idea what happened.
My last dud is actually a surprising dud because it's not performance based, but it's more so decision based.
Okay.
My last dud is Jacob deGrom.
For why? For blocking the trade?
Blocking 2 trades if you look at the teams he blocked the trade to. He blocked the trade to the Atlanta Braves. And he blocked the trade to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, so there were. I knew Atlanta. I didn't know about Tampa.
Yeah, that's Tampa Bay pivoted for Freddie Peralta. He blocked the trade to the Rays and to Atlanta. Like, I understand that Texas is winning that division right now, but they are going nowhere in the playoffs. You imagine what Tampa Bay would do if DeGrom was in that rotation.
I was happy he didn't go to Atlanta.
Do you imagine what they would do if DeGrom was in that Tampa Bay rotation?
Probably my favorite in the American League.
Do you know what he would do if he was in an Atlanta rotation?
Would carve us up like Christmas chickens.
That's why he's a dud for me, because I understand that you have loyalty, and he's always been very loyal, so I give that man a ton of credit because he never once asked to be traded from the Mets, even when the Mets are bad. He signed that contract with Texas. He's never once asked to be traded. But, like, in the position you're in right now, like, you're 39 now, you probably want one more shot to get a ring, which you're probably not getting in Texas. Why would you veto a trade to the Braves and the Rays?
Honestly, yeah, I would have went to Tampa. Atlanta, I'm not sure how much of a contender they really are. I would have went to Tampa with no hesitation.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fighting Philly, I will agree. The Bolin for Strahm trade is a low-key underrated move by Dave Dombrowski, and I am not a Dave Dombrowski guy, but I will say he pulled the right plug with the Matt Strahm deal. Like I said, there were a couple little things with him that they were noticing, like the velo was dropping a little bit, and they wanted to move him, and they got a pretty.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, we thought it was a lackluster return, but it turned out to be a pretty damn good one. If you give Caleb Cotham, and this is why I like Caleb Killian, if you give Caleb Cotham some relievers that have a good velocity and good strikeout rate and whiff rate, he can work with them. He's done a good job with a lot of guys here. He's done well with Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo, Zach Wheeler, Jonathan Bolin. He's done a good job here with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for your main event. And that main event is the damn grid. Let's get this grid taken care of because I'm sick and tired of this damn thing. All right. So for anybody watching at home, that wants to participate in said grid, here's what we have this week. On your top section, you have Houston Astros, born outside of the U.S. and D.C., and Silver Slugger. And on the left-hand side, we have Angels, Nationals, and Pirates. Dustin, what is your confidence level in this week's grid?
I'm always confident in these.
True, except when it cheats us.
Yeah.
Well, here, let me just ask real quick. So, for Pirates and Astros, we want to go Garrett Cole.
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
Sticking with the Pirates, born outside the U.S., Roberto Clemente.
R.I.P. Roberto Clemente.
Born outside the U.S. for the Angels, you can put Pujols. And then you can do Shohei for Silver Slugger.
Should we put Barry Bonds for the Pirates?
You put Barry Bonds for the Pirates.
Let's see. Will the grid allow it?
It'll allow it, but it might not accept it. Oh, he didn't win a Silver Slugger with us. He won it with the Giants. That's not the rules.
Nope, we got it.
Silver
All
Slugger.
right.
Silver Slugger for Washington. Do you want to go Harper?
Sure, why not?
B Hop.
All right, so now we need born outside of the U.S. and for the Nationals.
Starlin Castro. Vladimir. No,
Starling?
yeah, Starlin Castro.
I was going to say Chim Ming Wong. All right, Starling Castro. 0.6%. There you go. All right, Dustin. Now we need a Astro in the National and an Astro and an Angel. Those are very weird combinations.
The hardest thing for me is, do they consider the Nationals and the Expos
Well,
The
wait,
same-
I got.
the same franchise?
Wait, did Jason Michaels play for the Astros?
Jason Michaels?
He was an outfielder. He played for the Phillies. I know he played for the Nationals. I just don't know. I think he played for the Astros. I don't know if I want to risk it on Jason Michaels, though.
I know the name. I'm just trying to think.
Did he play for the Astros?
What about going to your neck of the woods for the Astros and Angels? What about Bobby Abreu?
Did Bobby play for the Astros?
Bobby Abreu played for the Astros in '97.
Okay, I was a year old. All right, let's go Bobby Abreu.
He was like a
All right,
bench.
now we
He
need
was
an
like a bench player for them in like '97.
Okay, now we need an Astro and a freaking National.
I want to even like try to pull an Expo, but I don't want to have it be like, oh no, that's not the Nationals franchise, even though it was.
Right? Like I know how this works. Oh my god.
Hold on. I have it on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it right now. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna just say somebody from the Expos, and if I get it wrong, it is what it is. Just put Randy Johnson, not Randy. Yeah, put Randy Johnson. He was in the Montreal Expo, and then he got traded to the Astros at some point.
There you go. The big unit. There you go.
Go kill a bird.
And that's how we kicked the Grid's rear end this week. All right, hold on. Just for the S and G's, I need to know if Jason Michaels played for the Astros. Yes, he did. So we could have went with Jason Michaels. If I'm gonna lose, here's the thing: if I'm gonna lose the damn Grid, I'm not losing it for a freaking utility player.
No, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're gonna do a football and basketball one. We're not here next week.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna maybe do 3 of these damn things?
Yeah, we did 3 that one week and we got them all.
Okay, so okay, you want to throw in an NFL and an NBA one? Fine,
Yeah.
let's do it.
NFL training camp started this week. You gotta throw one in.
Where do you want to start?
We'll go football first and then basketball. Basketball's been pissing me off. Yeah.
All right, so top we have Jets, Browns, 10+ sack season. Left side we have Giants, Bengals, and Bills.
Well, the 10+ sacks will be the easiest one, so we might as well knock that one out right away.
Okay, so which Giants Hall of Famer do you want to use?
We're going Michael Strahan. Ruthless, toothless, jib bimini boofless.
What? Should we just go Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
$73%.
And then I was gonna go Bruce Smith for the Bills. Big bad Bruce.
Oh. Giants and Browns, Odell.
Yeah, we can do Odell. I like Odell.
All right. Now it gets a little interesting now.
Giants and Jets, we're gonna go Jumbo Elliott.
Jumbo Elliott. Only you and George get the guys with no damn pictures.
Jets and Bengals, CJ Uzama.
Oh God!
I think he's their current tight end.
All right, CJ Uzama. Correct. Nice. Okay.
Bengals, Jesus, Bengals and Browns.
That is such a. Who combines that?
Bengals and Browns. Who would even want them to play on the same team?
Joe Flacco.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Joey Flacco. Look at that neck.
The Ohio Zoo called it Missy Giraffe. All right, now let's go. Now we got Bills and Browns and Jets and Bills. What the? These are such weird.
Bills and Jets, Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, for the Browns and the Bills?
No, Bills and Jets, Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, you could do either, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. So Tyrod Taylor.
He's in his Jets jersey.
That's hilarious. Now we need Browns and freaking Bills.
I don't even know.
I don't know anybody who would play for this team.
I don't either. I don't
have any idea who would actually play for this team. The Browns and these are such weird combinations.
What about? I don't know. 7:45. Did Jordan Poyer play for Borth?
I think you may be right.
I know he wasn't on the Browns that long, but I know he was with the Bills for a while.
There you go.
Jordan, that's a mugshot. I never even knew what the guy's face looked like.
Oh my God. All right, we're 2 for 2.
Jordan motherfucking Poyer. What a beast.
And Brooks Raley just allowed a game-tying home run. All right, send his ass back to New York.
He still pitched. He thought he was with the Mets.
Shut up. All right. Oh, okay. So for this one, we've got Wizards, Clippers, T-Wolves, Warriors, Bulls, and 20 points per game. Gee, Dustin, who do we put for the Bulls and Wizards?
I don't want to put him because that's too obvious.
Oh my God. It's the GOAT. You don't ever talk about that with the GOAT.
You're going to put Daniel Gafford there.
No, I am not going to put Daniel Gafford there. We are
Fine.
putting the GOAT.
Fine, put the GOAT.
All right, here. GOAT. Damn it.
I would laugh if it took it. I would laugh if it took it.
There, Jordan. Only 62%. That's actually pretty low for what I was thinking.
For Timberwolves and Bulls, you can do either Io or Jimmy Buckets. Either or.
You do that for Timberwolves and Warriors too.
Actually, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, so then do Io. Do Io for Timberwolves and Bulls.
Is that not how you spell? Is that not how you spell Io to assume his name?
AYO.
EYO.
AYO.
Oh, at least I said E. My bad.
Then put Jimmy
We'll put
Butler
Jimmy
there.
for. We're gonna put Andrew Wiggins for Timberwolves actually and Warriors. But it's okay. We're good here.
Bulls and Clippers, you can go Elton Brand.
Oh, what a name.
Only how much is that? 7%? 20 points per game for the Wizards. You want to go John Wall? Trey Young? Trey Young, probably.
Or Bradley Beal.
Yeah, or Bradley Beal, whatever you want to do for that one.
Let's go Beal, because I know for a fact that he did. I'm not saying Wall didn't, but he was like very borderline 20 points per game.
Clippers, 20 points per game. James Harden. Kawhi.
Like Griffin. Yeah, we'll put Harden.
T-Wolves, put the big ticket Kevin Garnett in there.
Yeah, let's put KG in there. KG some love. All right. Oh, Wizards and Warriors. Come on now. Jordan Poole.
Okay.
Oh. And now we just need Clippers and Warriors.
Sean Livingston.
You are. All right. Oh, yeah. Maybe you put the I before, dummy?
No. Sean, was just to say Shaun.
I got. No, I accidentally forgot to freaking type the damn freaking the I after the L. Who's got a better picture, Sean Livingston or Jordan Poyer? Oh my dear good lord! All right, there we go. 3 for 3 on the grids.
Sean Livingston.
There's a they talk about a journeyman role player that was
Well,
perfect for whatever role.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't have been a journeyman role player if he didn't snap his leg his first NBA game.
That's also true. He did it. That injury was gruesome.
Right out of high school, goes up for a dunk, falls off the rim, snaps his leg. Never the same.
Nope. But hey, still has multiple NBA championships.
Yep.
Still carved out himself a very fine career. But guys, with that being said, it's going to wrap up another episode of Hitting Home. We had a banner of a show. We knocked out the entire trade deadline, gave some thoughts on that. We talked about some stud or dud for the month of July. And we took down 3 grids, and 2 of them had nothing to do with baseball. So 609 was 4 for 4 this week against the grid. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thank you, everybody who commented in on the Facebook side. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll be wrapping the week up on Friday night with some Eagles training camp talk on Birds of the Gridiron. And just for a little heads up for everybody, Hitting Home will be off next week. We are taking a little week hiatus. We'll be back the following week as we prepare for the stretch run of what is probably going to be the end of the season. And not looking forward to the offseason. So, guys, thank you all for tuning in with us tonight. We greatly appreciate you guys as well. If you didn't get a chance to see the show live, you can always go back on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel to go check them out. And as always, hit that like and subscribe button. That's it for tonight, guys. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you guys next time. For Dustin Reese, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?